Howdy folks, welcome back to the shop. My name's Kevin. Today we're going to get into the thread insert deathmatch. A lot of us have had to use these little thread inserts to either repair stripped out threads or because we didn't trust the base material to hold the strength we needed. So I've kind of wondered which system is better than the others. Everybody's kind of got their own opinions on them, so why not check it out and find out for myself. I've got several different styles, and then I've got picked up some 12.9 bolts to go with them. This is all in 8 by 1.25. What we're going to do is run each one into its own little block of 6061, just plain aluminum, not heat treated or anything like that. We're going to compare the cost of these things, the time it takes to install them, the torque to yield, and then we're going to do an actual pull-out test, see if we can capture how much force it takes for it to lose tension, and then how much force it takes for it to ultimately fail. We're going to be using just a little clicky style torque wrench to check the torque on them. And then I've got a fixture set up in a 20-ton press that's instrumented to 10,000 pounds of force. If we need more than that, then I can pull out the proving ring and we can just go until the jack stops. So let's check it out. Okay folks, let's meet the competitors here. First up, I'm going to have a control. I'm going to run the bolts straight into the aluminum by itself, and we'll check it out and see how well that performs. Next up, we're going to have the Helicoil. Just the typical little wound wire thread insert. Then next up is going to be the TimeSert. That's one that's solid, but you drill it, you countersink it, you tap it for the tap or for the insert, and then you have to run this little guy in. He's well used. But you can probably see that there are some facets on there. It's easier to see in the BigSert setup. You can see the light reflecting off of that. It has 3 ridges in there, and these are compressed a little bit. So when you run them in, those ridges spread the insert out and press it against the side to hold it in real well. They have those in the typical size and in the repair size of the BigSerts, which is, should one of these inserts fail, it's going to leave a much larger hole in your work, and then you can use the BigSert to go in there and repair the oversized hole. Then we're going to get into the recoil key locking inserts. A lot of people know them as KeenSerts or things along those lines. You have to drill it out, a little oversized, and then use tap the hole for the threads. And then I just made my own tool instead of buying another one. It goes in there, you hammer it down to push the pins in, and that's what locks it up into place. So we'll take a look at everything and see how it goes. Numbers, man. Have to have the numbers. So I went to CNC Expo and got some numbers. The 8 by 125 bolts in 12.9 are rated for 42.6 Newton meters of torque. That's roughly 33 pound-feet. The tensile strength on these things is actually just a shade over 10,000 pounds. Proof strength on them is 7,980 pounds. That gives engineers a little bit of wiggle room, a little bit of fudge factor to cover their backsides. Now, Helicoil says their super duper little springy thingy has a pull-out strength of 10,116 pounds in 6061 aluminum. When I looked around for key lock inserts, the actual KeenSert said that these things were good for 9,239 pounds based upon the calculations that they give me. We'll see how that compares. Now, the TimeSert, they didn't want to tell you. They just said, hey, they're pretty, they're strong, they work really well, and have fun with it. So we'll figure it out and see just what. All right, we've got you zoomed in nice and tight here. We've got the control block, and we're ready to start in with the torque testing. The hole is drilled and tapped deeper than the other thread inserts, and to kind of even things out, I've gone around and found some spacers to make sure that the thread engagement on this is going to be about the same as what we've got with the other inserts. So we'll go ahead and get that set up. Some folks may be worried about me doing that in the mill vise, but don't worry, it's torqued down a whole lot more than what we're going to be putting on here. To get this done, I'm going to be using the block that I've made off for the pull-out rig. It is countersunk nicely, and I found a couple nuts that are spacing it up properly. You can see I've already tested everything. It does have clearance in here because I don't want the material to be giving any assistance at all to the aluminum. We're testing this, not the clamping power of that. So let's go ahead and get this thing started. I'm going to be starting off with the wrench set at 25 foot-pounds. There we go. Now, it says it's set that 33 is the recommended, so we'll go ahead and take it up to maximum. And it's not clicking on 33. It looks like we've already pulled the threads. Yes, you can see the threads are starting to pull up and out of the control, and it just broke loose. So the aluminum by itself is not capable of holding the maximum torque of the bolt. Okay, next up is a helicoil. And because this is a thread insert and I drilled it deep enough, we won't need to use the spacers that I had to use before. So I've already checked it. The bolt's got clearance all the way down below the thread insert. So let's get busy on this one. So I'm going to start the torque off with 25 foot-pounds, just like I did before. Okay, no problem. Go up to 33. And again, we're doing that because that is the specified torque limit of the bolt. Okay, so it handles 33. Let's just go ahead and step on up 40. Something's yielding in there because we're not getting to 40. Is the bolt? Oh, there we go. We made it. Can it do 45? Now something's. It's making it. Looks like it may be pulling the thread insert just a little bit. You can kind of see it coming up in here just a touch. Can you take another 5 pounds? 50. I really don't think so. No. It's just lifted the thread insert straight up out of there. So the helicoil has failed at 50 foot-pounds. Okay, here we are with the TimeSert and a new bolt. Does that set it to 33, which is the bolt specified maximum. And it handles 33. Step it up to 40. don't know about that. Is it already pulling the insert? Back it down. 37. No. Back it down to 33. No, it's pulled it. Something's broken loose. We've either lost the bolt or we've lost the insert. Here we go again with the recoil, and once more a new bolt. Okay. So let's step up to 33, bolt maximum. Did that. Let's see if it'll go to 40. I can't tell. Hey, there we go. We got 40. So it has, it's past the TimeSert. Let's see if it'll pass the Helicoil. 45. I don't think so. Something in there just gave up. No, that's far too easy. Okay, I went ahead and took another little offcut of the material, put a BigSert in it. I just wanted to get a group of all of them together afterwards. Went ahead and grabbed a new bolt, so let's get busy with this one, see how well it does. Step it up to 33. Again, the bolt specified max. Got that. Will it do 40? It did 40, and that was actually a lot easier than the others. Some of them took a couple pumps to get there. Will it step up to 45? No, I don't think so. Something seems to be given. No, I think something's coming apart in there. Step back down to 40. Back down to 33. It's still doing 33. Still doing 36. But it can't do 40 anymore. So now there's a failure. That's a result for you. The BigSert actually broke the bolt. So focus. Okay, everybody, this is the proving ring. It's going to be measuring the squish. Old school style load gauge. You can see it that adjusts here. And as it moves, you simply bring it up. There when it makes contact, you can see that I've got a little bit of a preload. I've got the data sheets on the proving ring, so I know what each value pertains to as far as the weight goes. So let's take you down a little bit to the material itself and see what's going to squish it. Here we go, down through the 2-inch bar stock, down to the little piece of 6061 down there that we put the inserts into earlier. Now I've got some 1,500 feeler gauges in there just so we can see when it's going to start to lose its tension there. But the whole rig is supported on the frame. The big frame that this is bolted to will drop down in the middle of the press. So I do have room for it to move, and should it fail catastrophically, the press will catch it. If not, these bars will catch it right here. So let's get ready for some squish. Okay, here we go with the control. This is the 6061 with the bolt run up into it. Now I've cut the back of this down with a clearance to where there's, again, only 1.5 diameter thread contact coming up into the piece. Because I back cut it, I'm able to run it all the way down without the spacers that I used on the torque test. I did that so I could preserve the bottom side of this to use for this test without having to go back and use another piece of aluminum. So we'll start to apply a little bit of squish and see where it goes. That's right at 6,000 pounds. So let's push our luck and go to 65. It's at 6,500 pounds. Now the yield strength of this bolt is supposed to be just over 7,000 pounds, so let's take it straight up to 7,000. Okay, we're at 7,000 pounds. Now we have got some yield coming out of this. It's let go of one side. So let's pull that out. The other side's still firm. That's kind of interesting. It looks like it's pulling off at an angle a little bit. So that's 7,000. 7,800 pounds. Let's do 8,000. It hasn't pulled out at 8,000 pounds yet. That's doing pretty good. Although it's still tugging tight. Let's go to 95. 9,500 pounds. There it is at 95. It's still holding it tight. Although that other side sure seems to be letting go. Will it do 975? Oh, and it let go. There we go. 9,500 pounds. Would not do 975, and we can see that it's just pushed clear on out of there. It's relieved all the tension on this thing. It's down to about 45 pounds. There we go. That's a result. Okay, as you can see, we've now got the Helicoil insert in there. That's 7,000. 72. Oh, okay, now 72. We've lost the left side. Getting up there. Let's go to 87. Still good. I'm going to go to 88. Okay, just let go at 88. So at 8,800, the Helicoil is letting go. So I think it's starting to pull through a little bit, but let's see what happens when we put 9,000 pounds on it. It's still holding. 92 maybe? It's got 9,200 pounds on there. We're getting close to the top of the machine. It's 92. Let's see, we're going to 93, 93.50. There we go. 94. It's holding it. 95. We're still there. 96. We're there. 97. $98. We're good. 99. We found it! 9,900 pounds. Not bad for the helicoil that everybody hates. Okay, folks, here we are with TimeSert. Gone ahead and preloaded the thing to 5,000 pounds just to start it out, and well, we're still good and tight. So let's not pussyfoot around too much. Let's go ahead and step it up to 5,500. There we go. And we've already lost one side on the TimeSert at 5,500 pounds. That's pretty disappointing. Don't know what to think about that. But let's keep going and see where this side takes us. Let's go ahead and jump to 6. $6,000. We're still tight. Will it go to 65? And that's 65. Let's go to 67.50 and see where that's going to take us. There we are. Still good. Dare we jump up to 7? That's 7, and we're still tight. Let's do 72.50. $75 maybe. Go up another 250 pounds to 77.50. Let's go to 8,000 pounds. That's 8,000, still holding tight. And let's go to 82.50. And it let go. Well, it went to 8,000 pounds. It let go by 82.50. Okay, here we go with the recoil key locking inserts. Both of the feeler gauges are in. Let's go ahead and step it on up to 5,000 pounds. That seems like a good starting point. 55. Okay, looks good. Let's step on up to 6. Still good. Let's slow down just a little bit. Let's go to like 63, see what happens here. 63. Okay. Left side's let go at 63. Let's go up to 9. $92. Right there. Let go. So, let go right at 9. Okay, this should rank right up in there with cruel and unusual punishment. I got the broken bolt out of the BigSert from the torque test. I just unscrewed right out of there. There was no resistance on it. So I decided to go ahead and test it and see what the BigSert does after it's already broken a bolt in the torque. So if I need to redo it, I've got another one on the top side of this. I can always flip it over and do it like I have the others, but let's just go out on a limb and blow this one up. It's already preloaded at 5,000 pounds, so let's step it on up to 5,500 and see what it does. Good to go. 6,000. Okay. I didn't check that one earlier, but we know it's loose at 6,000. I should have checked it. Kind of makes you wonder about this a little bit. 9,600 pounds. And it hasn't let go yet. Now, mind you, the yield point of this bolt is supposed to be a little over 7,600 pounds. But we're going. Let's go to 9,800. Here we are. 99. And it's still tight. 10,000 pounds. And we've just met the limit of my proving ring. It hasn't been beyond this, and it's not calibrated to go beyond this. So I need to stop this one here, and then we can look at going ahead and blowing this thing up. And we're back with the previously load tested insert in the BigSert, and this is still in there. I've just simply moved the platform up and removed the proving ring. So let's start pumping and see what it takes. See if the bolt's going to fail first, or if the BigSert's going to pull out of the aluminum. We're pushing the load limits of that bolt. It's proofed a little over 7,000 pounds. Ultimate tensile strength is right at 10,000, and that's what we were pushing earlier. So I don't know how much it'll take, but without an instrument in there, it's going to resort to the scientific method of a butt time. So let's see what happens. That's getting pretty heavy. And that's pulled out. So we've got some flex. I don't know if it's the insert pulling or the bolt, but this one's going to pop, and it's going to be loud. That is starting to flex the fixture. That's a good bolt. That's really disturbing because this press is just about topped out. I'm afraid there's not going to be a boom on this one because that 20-ton jack's getting real hard to press, and I've got to stand right here next to it. So we're going to call it one day. Okay, so this is what we've got to learn out of this mess today. Breaking stuff is fun. That was great. Now the control piece, the bolt going in there, it did strip the threads out on both sides, although this held a whole lot more than I thought it was going to in the pull-out force test. And then we've got the helicoil, which on the torque, it actually started to pull the thread out of it. The thread insert started coming up as we were torquing the bolt down, and then it completely stripped the helicoil out of it on the pull-out test. TimeSert. The TimeSert started to pull out, and then actually started coming apart. And that was the deal on the pull-out test. It actually ripped in half, and I ended up having to use the Dremel to cut it off the bolt. But it pulled it clean out of the aluminum, and it did so at a far lower pressure than what I thought it was going to. The key locking insert. And again, it did well on the torque test, but then the insert itself started to yield and started to pull out. On the pull-out test, it did just pull straight out of there, locks and all, and you can see it took the aluminum with it. The interesting thing is this uses a much finer thread. It's a 12 millimeter by 1.25, whereas the others were 12 by 1.5. So it held well, but it stripped the aluminum out. And then the BigSert. Yeah, this was kind of the ringer. I knew this was going to perform well. It actually broke the bolt in the pull-out test, in the torque test. I snapped the bolt off in it, and then I used the same insert for the pull-out, and the really impressive part is that I exceeded the capacity of that 10,000 pound proving ring, took it out of there, and just went straight on with the 20-ton press, and it got too hard for me to pump at arm's length. It was everything I had without snugging up real close to it and catching a belly full of shrapnel should something let go. So I was pretty impressed with that. Now these others are available in the larger repair sizes like this, and all of them are also available in different materials like stainless and whatnot. But I just wanted to do the basic materials and just see how they would do. Now you would expect the larger diameter to have more locking power on the aluminum, and it obviously did. But the fact that the bolt didn't strip out of it and the bolt didn't break is pretty stinking impressive. There we are. Make of it what you will. It was a lot more fun breaking stuff than it was building stuff, but hey, that's all part of the fun. See you next time.